Coming off the two longest races of the season, Imsa now starts its annual trip to the West Coast with its shortest round of the year. Yes, the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach may only be 100 minutes long, but recent years have seen these races decided by pit strategy and plenty of late race drama. This is your Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach race preview. Located in Long Beach, California, the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach has become a fixture on the Imsa calendar. Imsa first raced at the track in 1990 and 1991 with their GTO and GTU classes. After that though, they took a bit of a break and would not return until Grand Am returned to the track in 2006. Since 2006 though, either Grand Am, ALMS, or the new merged Imsa have supported the IndyCar race weekend there. The current race circuit is a 1.9 mile or 3.2 kilometer temporary road course laid out on the streets surrounding the Long Beach Convention Center. Fun fact here is the Convention Center actually doubled as the pit paddock back in the day when Formula One raced here. Now the track is particularly known for its last section, a sharp hairpin turn followed by a long, slightly curved front straightaway that runs the length of Shoreline Drive. Now it also doesn't take too long to notice that the track is situated right in the heart of the Long Beach waterfront district, passing by local attractions like the Aquarium of the Pacific, and parts of the course are actually lined with palm trees, which gives this race a very unique scenery to it. Now various changes to the track have been made since the first race in 1979, but perhaps the biggest change took place in 1999. Then, due to new construction in the area, the Turn 1 complex was removed, and it was replaced with the new and now iconic Fountain Complex. Turn 1 has now become that 90-degree left turn that leads to that iconic fountain roundabout and a series of tight 90-degree turns. This complex not only leads to some very interesting moments, because you can't go side by side through there, but it also leads to some beautiful views and iconic photos from this race. Now, as with many street circuits, Long Beach is a pretty short lap, but it's a rough one, with lap times for the GTP class cars being in and around the 1 minute and 10 second mark, going down to about the 1 minute and 18 second mark for the GTDs. But despite it being a street circuit, there are some good opportunities for passes around here. Those include into the heavy braking zone of Turn 1, going into Turn 6, and if the right opportunity presents itself, then keep an eye on Turn 9. However, given that again, this is a narrow street circuit, these races can often be decided on pit strategy. Getting in a clean pit stop, especially if the race runs green, will be critical. And making sure that you don't come out of the pits into traffic will be huge. Speaking of traffic though, you might notice that the GTP and the GTD classes are the only ones that will be present, meaning that traffic should be greatly reduced. However, that still doesn't mean that the traffic will be easy though. The tight nature of this track again means that those faster GTP cars are going to have to be extra patient when trying to navigate around their GTP counterparts. And with it being a sprint race, it means that any time lost navigating around traffic could cost themselves a chance at victory. Now, Long Beach is the first sprint round of the Imsa season, but just because it's shorter than the endurance races doesn't mean there are any fewer storylines to talk about. Porsche Penske Motorsports are going to be looking to keep their perfect season alive after they've won the opening 2 rounds of the season. Certainly a possibility after they've previously won this race in 2023. We're also going to see the long-awaited debut of Robert Wickens in the GTD class. Long Beach is going to be the first of his 5-race Sprint Cup calendar racing in that DXTT Corvette. And you better be keeping a close eye on those one-off entries from Vassar Sullivan and AO Racing. Last year, the one-off number 89 Vassar Sullivan Lexus actually took the win in the GTD class. Definitely want to be keeping an eye on that 89 as well as that 177 AO Racing Porsche. Now, if you want a bonus thing to keep an eye out for in this year's race, then consider subscribing to the S's email newsletter. Before every race weekend, I send you everything that you need to be up to date and ready for the upcoming race weekend. You can subscribe to that by clicking the link in the show notes or heading to offinthes's.com. Now, unlike many of Imsa's races, Long Beach will see no support series present. This is because Imsa's kind of playing the support series role to IndyCar this weekend. Now, while we won't see any IMSA support series action this weekend, there will be some other series racing there, such as the GT Americas series. There's also going to be the historic Formula exhibition, which will feature some GT 500 cars, historic Indy cars, as well as historic F1 cars that previously raced on the track. There's drifting that goes on, and perhaps my favorite event of the weekend is the Stadium Super Trucks, aka the Jumpy Trucks. Check those out if you have a moment. Taking a look at the weather now for the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. On Friday, it's going to be a sunny 72 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 22 degrees Celsius, and more sun on Saturday, as it will be a high of 68 or 20 degrees Celsius. Let's take a look at the BOP now. We're going to start off with the GTP cars. In both classes, though, there's a couple of really big swings that we see throughout. Not really sure the reason why, but regardless, there are some pretty big swings here. The Acura is going to be 5 kilograms heavier and feature a power reduction. The Aston Martin will be 10 kilograms heavier, a slight power reduction and a slight energy reduction as well. Cadillac also 9 kilograms lighter with a hefty 13 kilowatt maximum power decrease, and will also feature a max stint energy decrease. And the Porsche pretty well mimics the Cadillac here. They have the same weight reduction, the same power reduction, and the same max stint energy reduction. In the GTD class, the Aston Martin will be 7 kilograms lighter, feature a slight power uptick, and also a little bit more fuel capacity. BMW sees some big swings here. It's going to be 9 kilograms heavier. It's going to see a 4.5% increase in the maximum power, and it's also going to see a fuel capacity increase of 15 megajoules. I should also mention, for these power changes, I'm only talking about the changes below 190 kilometers an hour. Long Beach is a fairly slow track at the end of the day, so I'm only going to touch on the differences under 190 kilometers an hour. The Corvette will be 21 kilograms lighter, feature 1% less power, and also a 19 megajoule fuel capacity decrease. The Ferrari will be 27 kilograms lighter. That is a huge amount of weight to shed. It also sees a slight reduction in power and a slight decrease in fuel capacity. The Ford will be a little bit heavier, 7 kilograms, but see a hefty 5.6% increase in maximum power and also a 15 megajoule fuel capacity increase. The Lamborghini sheds 10 kilograms, sees a slight power uptick and also a bit of fuel capacity increase. And the Lexus will feature a big 24 kilogram weight decrease, a little bit of a power uptick, and 25 less megajoules of maximum stint energy. The Mercedes will be a little bit lighter, 5 kilograms, features a little bit more power and a little bit reduced fuel capacity, while the Porsche will see a healthy 12 kilogram weight increase, also a 4.8% power increase to go along with it, and a 26 megajoule fuel capacity increase. This year, we're going to see 27 cars take to the track, which is actually the same number as we saw in 2024, except this year we'll be seeing 11 GTP class cars take to the track, which is an increase of 1, and we'll be seeing 16 GTD cars take to the track, which is a decrease of 1. 78 laps were turned by the victorious number 01 Chip Ganassi Racing Cadillac of Renger van de Zande and Sebastian Bourdais in 2024 after they pulled off some clever pit strategy to overtake the sister number 31 Cadillac. In GTD, it was the number 89 Vasser Sullivan Lexus of Ben Barnicoat and Parker Thompson taking the win. And while Ben won't be on the grid for this one, he has been a part of back-to-back wins for Vasser Sullivan Racing, so Vasser Sullivan is going for 3 in a row at Long Beach after they also won in GTD Pro back in 2023. As for my picks in this race, well, I'm sticking with Cadillac to win in the GTP class, and I'm going with the number 10 Cadillac Wayne Taylor Racing entry. Look, Wayne Taylor Racing was so close to winning here just 2 years ago when they were with Acura, and Cadillac has been strong here in both years that the GTP cars have been running. I think Wayne Taylor Racing finally turns their season around and pulls through with a big win for Cadillac in GTP. In GTD, give me the number 12 Vasser Sullivan Lexus of Jack Hawksworth and Parker Thompson. Now, you may have noticed by this point that Vasser Sullivan is pretty darn strong around Long Beach. They've actually been on the podium for 4 years in a row in either the GTD or the GTD Pro class. This is a very strong lineup of drivers. Parker won this race last year. Jack Hawksworth is a very good driver in his own right. It's very difficult to go against a Vassar Sullivan Lexus, so give me them to take the GTD class win. Let's take a look at the point standings now, presented by P1 Web Development. If you're looking for a custom website, then look no further than P1 Web Development. You can check them out by heading to p1webdevelopment.com or clicking the first link in the description. Off of their perfect start to the season, the number 7 Porsche Penske Motorsports 963 leads the way in the championship standings with 760 points. That's 91 points ahead of the sister number 6 Porsche. Tied for third and the first non-Porsches in the standings are the 2 Meyer-Shank Racing Acuras, who sit 173 points back, and rounding out the top 5 is the number 10 Cadillac Wayne Taylor Racing entry. In GTD, it's the number 57 Windward Racing Mercedes who lead with 690 points. That's a 41-point advantage over the number 27 Heart of Racing Aston Martin, the number 120 Wright Motorsports Porsche, the number 13 AW8 Corvette, and the number 96 Turner Motorsports BMW round out the top 5. With no Imsa support series present, this is a pretty quick schedule to go through. Things kick off for the WeatherTech Championship on Friday at 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time as they go qualifying for the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. You can catch that on Imsa TV, Peacock, or on Imsa's YouTube channel. And then flip the calendar over to Saturday and it's race day. The race gets underway at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. You can catch that on Imsa TV, Peacock, USA, or on Imsa's YouTube channel. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there are some great storylines to follow along with this weekend. I compiled 5 of the biggest storylines to follow at Long Beach. You can check them out right here. Huge shout out to all of the channel supporters. If you too want to support the show, you can head to patreon.com/offintheS's. Click that join button below. Once again though, thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone has a great race weekend and doesn't go off in the S's.